Hey folks, Bobo back with you. So as I was looking at the video I just produced, around the 19-20 minute mark, I saw where I had a mild attack of dyslexia. But be that as it may, I've dealt with that all my life. For the most part, these days I'm KO. So that being said, let me take off on the next presentation I have for you here this morning. A discussion on a venture I once came up with and attempted. It didn't go very far, but I had fun with it. It was called Cards for Vets. And my idea was how many times do we look at mom or dad and we're not sure what to get for them that would be kind of unique for either Mother's Day, Father's Day, Veterans Day, and so forth. And I got to thinking, why not create a set of baseball cards for these veterans? With the technology we have today, it shouldn't be that hard. Just go on a site and fill out the pertinent information on the veteran to include a picture, name, rank, duty stations, perhaps duty positions, and a little bit of a narrative on the individual. And then my goal was to create a set of these cards, 20 cards for $20, and include plus shipping. Can't hardly get by that. Anyway, I had mild success with it, but it really never grabbed hold, truth be told. One of the first cards I came up with was for the father of my counselor when I went through basic training for recovery for alcoholism. This fellow's name was John William Michael, and he was a MP in the Army during World War II. And I talked to his daughter. His daughter was my counselor. I talked to Linda and her husband Eric, and they shared with me a little bit about him. And I thought, man, if anyone deserves a baseball card, it's this guy here. This guy is a true American hero. And we have so many of these heroes out there. They don't talk much about themselves. But man, there are men and women I really look up to. John was or I guess they called him Mike. Mike was a MP in the Army during the Battle of the Bulge. And the story that got to me that Linda told me was that he had told her it was so cold during that time, they used to have to pee on their rifles to break loose the firing mechanism on them so that they could fight. They were carrying M1s in those days, among other weapons, of course. But I can just imagine what that was like. And then the other day, Eric was sharing a story about Mike, how they were marching from point A to point B, and he happened to look off into the field, and he saw a hayfield, a haystack. That's that crazy clock of Graham's. Anyway, they saw a haystack, and behind the haystack there was a woman delivering a child, and it was bitterly cold, as I kind of insinuated here a little earlier. And so Mike walked over there and saw where she was being attended to by another woman, and he took a blanket off his shoulders and gave it to the two women and the baby, and he just went on with just his field jacket left. We talk about heroes these days. These guys were heroes. They were really, I just admired them. Another time Eric told me about was as an MP, he was responsible for directing traffic. And they came to this village, so Mike's sitting there. If you've been to Europe, you know that a lot of these villages have just real tiny streets through them. And Mike knew a tank would not make it through these streets. But the lieutenant had told him that to send the tanks through. And by golly, you're going to send those tanks through. Here Mike had begun to send them around the village. Well, Mike said, well, okay. So the next tank that came up, he directed them into the village. And sure enough, as the tank came up and made the turn, he got locked in. And bricks are falling and everything else. It's like, geez, whatever else. So the rest of them went around the village. But anyway, that was kind of the idea to tell these stories of these heroes and keep their memories alive. I often thought of military reunions. Can you imagine military reunion? And one of the things you do for those that are attending, you hand them their set of trading cards. I want to call them baseball cards, but trading cards. And so the guys go around and they look at these cards and they, oh God, I remember that, and this, that, and the other. I could just see how fun that would be. But anyway, it didn't go very far. But I still have a few of them that I kept. Sergeant Michaels is one of them, and I never knew him, but he will always be a hero in my heart. So with that being said, to the heroes out there, share your stories. We don't want to forget them. And God bless you. This is Bobo, Base Gear. Stop.